Hey guys, so today is Thursday. I know I usually post a shave video. I try to do them on like Wednesday, Saturdays. Try to do like 2 a week. I didn't do one yesterday on Wednesday. The reason was, honestly, I just felt kind of lazy. I didn't really feel like videoing one of my shaves. Because when I video my shaves, I either have to do them where I'm at right now or in my RV. I'm currently boondocking, dry camping, so it's a little bit, how do I put it, of a hassle to shave in the RV just because I don't have running water. And where I'm shaving right now, it's not bad, but I usually like to shave when I get out of the shower type of thing. There's just more room in the other facility where I can shower and shave, but it gets a little busy in there sometimes with the employees, so I tend to not want to videotape because they're going to be in the video. So that's just a little FYI, but today I'm going to be shaving in here, so you might be hearing the fan. I'm not sure. We'll see if I can play with the volume. We got a lot of new stuff today that I'm going to be shaving with, which is pretty cool. As you can see, my facial hair is growing out. I think it's been probably about a week since I've shaved my face, give or take a day or two. I'm not sure yet if I'm going to keep growing it out or not. I was thinking about shaving it. I'm getting a straight razor in the mail. It should arrive at my P.O. box today, but I probably won't pick it up till like tomorrow. So I was thinking about actually hacking off the facial hair with that. I don't know, I might grow it out. My wife actually made fun of me today. She's like, oh, you're buying a shaving brush, but you're growing out your facial hair. And I was like, yeah, well, I still shave my head, so. But she was just doing that as a joke. She doesn't really care. She doesn't care what I buy, when I buy things at all. But enough of that junk. Let's get into the shave. So for today, we're going to be using the Club, the Graveyard. This is not released anymore. It was like a one-time release, like I think maybe 2 years ago or a year ago. Probably, I think it was 2 years ago. So it's 2023. I think it was in 2021 this was released by the Club, also known as Ariana and Evans. Great scent. I love this scent. It's one of my favorite scents from them, and one of my favorite scents in the weight shaving hobby. I have it over here blooming. It's not a soft soap, but it's not super hard. It's hard enough to where I don't mind blooming it, and it's just filling this small space, the aroma. So it looks super dark, but it's really not. It's a very like eerie floral / citrus vibe. Really, really great, well blended. So I do have a backup of this, and I'm going to be starting to use this more often. So you might maybe even see this more in my shave videos, because I don't mind using the same soap for multiple shave videos. You know, it is what it is. I'm not going to buy a new shave soap for every video. And that's just me personally. If others want to do that, go ahead. I don't think you need that as a content creator, but it is what it is. But I'm going to be using this more often so I can kill this one and that backup, because I just found out recently, like maybe 2 weeks ago, that this scent now lives in the Club Ariana Evans Gothic Quarter. So it's a little different, but it's like 98% there. And that's still offered. You can buy that any day of the week. So I really don't need to be kind of using this only once in a while, because I was afraid I was going to kill it and not have any more of it, which is kind of ironic, right? Because I love it so much, I should use it more. But whatever, I'm going to be using it more often. I also have the matching splash. Boom. Pre-shave today, we're just going to put some water on the head. So no real pre-shave. I do have a day's worth of hair growth up there. Maybe a little less than a day's. I shaved, I think it was late afternoon yesterday, and it's 10:30 here in San Diego. It's kind of a gloomy day. You can see it in the beginning of the video, just to show you guys, kind of overcast, not really sunny today. But one of the new things to my den that I just picked up the other day at my P.O. box, I got this used, is the stainless steel Vector. I've been curious about this thing for a long time. I was back and forth on should I try to find a used titanium or a used stainless steel. The weight of the stainless steel, it's in my favorable weight, that 40 to 85-ish grams. So I decided, price point wise, that I would start with the stainless steel just because the weight wasn't bad for what it is. Now the titanium is going to be a little bit lighter. So I have this loaded right now with a Feather Pro AC blade. That Feather Pro blade has, I don't know, I can't remember, probably like 2 uses on it. I've had it for a while. I used it in my Feather Camisori style shavette a while back. But for some reason I've heard that these don't do really good in the Vector, and it just depends on the person. But for some weird reason, if this doesn't do good, I have some Schick Proline blade P30s. I've never used these before. It came with the Vector. I bought it used on the BSTs. And I've been told these are really good, though. I've been told these are really smooth for the Vector. So just in case, midway, I'm going to switch it out if I don't like it. So that is what it is, right? And I'm really excited to use this, especially on the dome. I've heard it's smooth, yet efficient. So we'll see. It's kind of an interesting idea. One blade for, you know, shaving. Next new piece of gear today is this beautiful Chisel and Hound. He called it Scarlet because of the red ferrule lily. Guess because, you know, that kind of looks like a lily shape. I'm going to call it, though, the Red Scarlet Witch, because I love Marvel. Love anything like that since I was a little kid and getting the comics. So this is going to be the Red Scarlet Witch. Chisel and Hound probably has the best wood handles I have ever had or ever seen. I just love them. And of course, it's not going to show, but this is quite a bit brighter in person. It's not super bright, but it is brighter in person, and it's obviously brighter under light or under the natural sun. But the real star of the show is going to be this. This is the V19. I've been hearing that this V19 is compared to some legendary batches of Declaration Grooming. I've heard it's really close to like B5. I've heard B7, B8. I've heard other people also say it's really close to a turn and shave batch 5 hair, like the M5, the H5, and the L5, and that hair is phenomenal. I do like my B5 quite a bit, so I knew I had to get one. I was told by a lot of people that have them, 51 is the loft height that you want it for, so I requested Chisel and Hound put it in there at 51, which he usually puts it in there at 48 is his standard, so we're at 51 with this one, so I'm going to look forward. This is my first use with this. I cleaned it twice, and then I lathered it up with some soap, so that's just the bloom after 2 cleanings and 1 soap. Now we're going to start loading. Yeah, we're at 9 minutes, but whatever. Empty out that, and we're going right to the tub. Now with that, so that V19, Chisel and Hound said he didn't have very many of the knots left, and at this time he actually is sold out. So I actually bought 2 knots from him besides this. So this is a V19 in the handle, and then I have 2 knots by themselves. And, you know, FOMO kind of got me on that one. I only really needed 1 because I have like 6 handles that have no knots in them, and I've been kind of back and forth on what knot do I want to put in them, send them out for a hand tie knot. One of the brushes I've been thinking about sending out for a B16 from Declaration Grooming. I have 1 full Declaration Grooming B16, but I have a couple handles that are just gorgeous and they're just sitting empty. So I thought, you know, why not fill it with B16, but I've also heard this hair compared to B16, and the first couple times I've kind of played with it on my face and with my hand, yeah, it's very similar to B16, very soft with presence though. So because of that, I decided to get those knots. They were like 60 bucks each or 65. So one of them I'm going to probably put in one of the empty handles I have. The other one, we'll see how much that is. That looks like that might be enough. The other one, I think I'm going to hold on to it and put it in a handle they call the Starry Sky. It's made by Arno. I think it's like ARNO. You just Google brush handle Starry Sky, Starry Night, you'll find it. And it's, based off the Van Gogh painting, and it's made out of titanium. It's a beautiful, beautiful brush. And they make like 3 like that. They have that one, and they have a couple that are like colored with like asteroid craters in them, and they're just gorgeous brushes. I've been wanting one for a while, and they're not cheap. They're like 300 bucks. Or 2 something maybe. But I didn't want to get one just for it to sit empty again. So later, a couple months from now maybe, I think I'm going to buy one. And if I really like this V19 a lot, and there's nothing else new on the market that is better than this, I think I'm going to put the V19 in there. So now let's just go to the head. We're going to get the tips just a little wet. You can see it dripping maybe. Go right to the dough. Okay, so, there's that, what I call honeymoon phase when you get new gear, and that's with anything in life, right? New shoes, new clothes, new car. So you always think of it, dipping tips again, maybe a little better than it is. So I try not to let that honeymoon phase affect my judgment, especially in videos like this. So, what I say right now in this video about this brush, it might change, is what I'm getting at. But right off the bat, very, very soft tips. As you can see, easy to paint, builds the lather really nice, splays super, super easy. I actually, I'm not going to always say all the good things, right? I got to come up with some things that I'm like, I would change this, because that's life. Like, you guys need to know, as a YouTube fucking content creator, whatever the hell you want to call people that do these videos, you're a reviewer, right? Some people are watching your stuff to see a review. And if you only say good things about it, then you're probably lying, right? Because not everything is sunshine and peaches and rainbows in life. You gotta be honest. So, right off the bat, 51, it's nice. And it's also preference, right? Do you like your knot more floppy? Do you like it more backbone? I would say this is on the low backbone. Maybe the low medium section. I like it. It's not bad. We need to paint some water in there. Some wah-wah, some agua. It has, the club, this is K2, so this is their old base. And this is just a great base to work with, fun, easy. So, I don't say like, oh, this brush is great because it made the lather great. But it's really soft. I would say on the low end of the medium backbone. So I wouldn't call it super low, but it's not medium. Need some more agua. I do want this to be well hydrated, just because I don't know how that blade is going to react on my head, and I don't want to cut myself. Really like this knot so far. I could have even maybe gone one lower to a 50, but I don't know. I don't know how much we're going to heat up the blade. I don't know how much that 1 millimeter down would have changed the characteristics, you know what I mean? Like, you would think it would make it from a low medium to maybe right at that medium, but it might make it really stiff. Alright, as always, first round is going to be with the grain. Not bad. You can see the stubble. It has an interesting feel to it. Just being one blade. And, you know, I've used my Camisori, and I use that to shave my head too before. But this is a little different. I would say easier, you know, because the Camisori, like, you have to angle it at just the right angle, and it's a little bit harder to maneuver. Where this, because it's on a razor handle, just really easy to maneuver. And with the head and most of the weight being in the handle, makes it even like more nimble. It's like super nimble. I don't know if the titanium version would be maybe even too light. Like say the Henson, I'll use the Henson every now and then. I have the Henson AL13, so the aluminum version, and I'll use that to shave my head because it's a nice, mild, easy razor to shave with. But I don't enjoy shaving with it necessarily. That's why I rarely will ever use it for my face, because it's just too light. When a razor's too light, I don't like the feel. I also don't like it when it's too heavy. Like I said, I like, personally, for me, that 40 grams to about 85, 90 grams. I have heavier razors than that, and I don't mind using them, but I prefer in that wicket. I would have to look up what the titanium weighs. I can't remember. I want to say this one weighs in the 80 grams, maybe like 80 to 85, so it's like right there, the high point. So far, it's not super smooth. Of course, it's also my first time using it. You know, I can see already maybe why people don't like these blades for it. I mean, I'm not afraid of cutting myself with it, but yeah, it's not super smooth. I think I'm going to switch out the blade. And the blade, I've heard some people say it's hard or tricky. I don't think it is. I'll show you a little trick on how to switch it out. At least what I kind of remember is you got to look at it, and there is a side of it that the head, this side is actually flat in the back when you take it off. And the razor blade, the AC blade, also has a flat edge on one side, and that's the back side of it. Yeah, I'm going to switch it out right now. It's starting to feel kind of tuggy. So, ooh, that got close. Dry off your hands. Dry your hands off. That was close. I don't know if I could have actually cut myself, but that was slippery. So there's a little wash on this one. The guy had that on there, and I have washers too, so. Man. Learn from my mistake. I didn't think it would be that slippery. Luckily, I didn't cut myself. So here's what it looks like apart. And again, you see that there's a flat side. So let's take out the blades. You push it back. There's the new blade. And you see how this is the flat edge. So flat edge against flat edge. And of course you guys can't see this part. I apologize about that. And then flat edge to flat edge. Washer back on. And we're back in business. Yeah, that's actually funny that I've never seen anybody mention about trying to take this off like that. Yeah, that was probably pretty stupid. I mean, I didn't think about that. Which I'm not sure if I could have even cut myself because of the safety bar guard. But still, yeah, from now on, I'm going to dry my hands. Let's heat up that blade. Let's see how this Schick rides. Oh yeah, night and day difference. Night and day. This, my friends, is freaking nice. Super, super smooth. Super smooth, guys. And gals, I guess. I don't know if any gals are watching. It does have some blade feel, which I don't mind. You know, I like my Blackland Blackbird TI, because it has blade feel. I don't mind blade feel. A lot of times people kind of correlate blade feel with it being aggressive or harsh, and I don't necessarily think so. I think blade feel is just that. It's you being able to feel where the blade is at all times. Wow. Even with the other one, the Feather Pro, not being the smoothest, it's fucking efficient. Like, I could be completely good right now at one pass, but because we have a lot more soap left, we're going to go for 2 passes. I don't know, might be 3 passes, but for right now, 2. Get a little bit more agua back in there. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Now these AC blades are a little bit, they're quite a bit more expensive than your DE blades. I guess depending on what DE blades you buy, because I don't know, some people buy like old vintage DE blades that are pretty pricey too. But me, I buy, my main go-tos are Gillette Knotsets and Astra SPs, and they're fairly cheap. I also do like to use feathers from now and then, and they're a little bit more pricey, but they're not my main go-to. So these are quite a bit more expensive than a DE blade, but supposedly they last longer too. You know, like a DE blade, you can get like 3 to, you know, some people get 5 shaves. I usually get 3 to 4 decent shaves out of a DE blade. These supposedly you can go to like 10 or something like that. I don't know. I need to try that, see how far I can push one. Maybe we'll start with this one. Yeah, night and day difference. This one's so much smoother. Now what I like is the head is so small that it's very maneuverable. But yet it's kind of, you know, a little bit wider, so it covers a lot of ground too. Yeah, I'm not saying you can't cut yourself with this, but at no time am I feeling at all like I might cut myself. Wow, look how much it's getting. And this is me going across the grain. Wow, guys. I don't know. Like this, This might have just dethroned my carved overlanders, my goat head razor. My favorite razor so far for my head shapes has probably been the carved overlander or the winning razor head with my timeless TI crown handle. But I think this just dethroned both of those. This is maybe, I don't know, I might say this is smoother, but yet has a really nice blade feel to it that they don't have. And again, you know, some people don't like blade feel, so this might not be for you then. I'm not sure if this is like a normal thing where people say it has blade feel or not. I'd have to relook at other people's inputs on it, on YouTube maybe, and on the forums. But for me, there is blade feel on this. But it's blade feel in a good way. But not aggressive at all. Like, I don't feel like I'm about to nick myself at all. Wow, that was a great second pass. Jesus. We're like high into DFS, maybe even BBS, because you know your hair will recede a little bit after the shave. But you know what? We're going to take out this, and I'm going to try to go against the grain in some spots to see how it does that way. But typically on a 2-pass shave, if I don't go against the grain, like I need that third one to go against the grain to make it like super smooth. All right. Wow, it's still getting stuff. Surprisingly smooth against the grain. The grip is not bad. My hands are super slick right now because this soap is super slick. And so far it hasn't even came close to coming out of my hands. Except when I took the head off. That's a good way to lose a finger. Okay? Never going to do that one again. Wow! Wow! It is really picking some stuff up again. Okay, I think I might just have nicked myself. So I need to be kind of cautious of where the blade is when I'm putting it down. It's interesting. So back here, it's not as smooth as like the carved overlander is against the grain in the back of my head. It's not the worst I've ever felt. But yeah, it's not the smoothest. And you know, that could also be maybe because there's a little bit more growth than there should be, because I think with that first feather, it wasn't really picking up as much as it could have. Oh yeah, that's nice. Okay, on the top of the head, it's pretty freaking smooth on the top of the head against the grain. Which even the carved overlander isn't great against the grain on the top of my head. And you know, I still gotta figure out the angle. Yeah, I think we're baby butt smooth. I think we're BBS, folks. Let's just get a quick feel up here. Okay, I got 1, 2 little spots right there. Okay, we're gonna stop chasing the dragon. Oh man, that smells so good. Whew. Time to wipe down the head. Now, we're gonna follow that with an aluminum block. Let me get that wet. Okay. Well, okay. 1 or 2 maybe small little zingers back in the back of my neck. I think that's because when I was going against the grain, I placed the blade a little too hard against my neck, and I think it nicked it, not when I moved it, but just placing it on the neck. All right, that was nice. Now we're going to follow it up with the aftershave splash. The Vector, I love it. First thought is, the splash has a nice citrus bite to it. The soap does too, but this has more, and I love it. I love it so much that I have the Gothic quarter EDP, so I can smell like this all day. Oh, love it. All right, let's do a recap. Today we used the Club, the Graveyard. You can't get this anymore, unfortunately, but you can get the Gothic Quarter, which is now, this lives in the Gothic Quarter now. We used for the first time my new Blackland Vector stainless steel. We first used a Schick Pro AC blade, which sucked. I didn't realize how bad it sucked until I changed the blade. We changed out the blade midway to the Schick Proline P30s. If I wasn't, almost cut my finger off doing that. So next time, learn, Dave. Got to dry it off while you do this. If not, you're going to go. We finished it off with a little splash, the matching splash. We did use a loom block just to see if we had any zingers or anything. Great shave. Man, Chisel and Hound, Scarlet Witch with a V19. Soft on the low end of medium backbone. Just a pleasure to use. I'm going to be using this a lot more this week going forward, just to keep breaking it in and seeing how it kind of evolves the more I use it this week, just to get a better idea how much I like it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. If you have the possibility to find a V19 on the buy-sell trade, highly encourage you to get it. Very, very good knot so far out the gate. Glad you guys come along on the journey. Super glad I didn't cut off my finger I'm changing out the blade on that. Check you guys later.